Favorite 10th grade English class, third period. Sorry, I'm not there with you today, but I did want to leave you with some instruction. Kind of go through these slides with you on writing your summary paragraph. We started it with our main idea sentence yesterday. Now we're filling in the supporting ideas that go with it to create a summary. These slides are also linked as part of the assignment, so you can go over them on your own if you wish. But I just wanted to walk through and clear up anything that I think might be confusing. So I think it might be, it probably is to some. Okay, so let's walk through this, our summary paragraph. Again, we did our summary main idea yesterday. Now we got to add some stuff to make it a paragraph. So here we go, how to write a summary paragraph. And you guys are going to continue this on the same document from yesterday. Don't open a new one. Find the one where you filled out the sentence frame with your main idea sentence, and you're going to keep working on that same document below. Okay, so our goal today is to write an amazing supporting evidence. Yesterday we wrote a fantastic main idea. So here's what we're looking at. If you're looking at the rubric, you want to identify a range of essential details from throughout the text. You don't need the non-essential stuff. Okay, so if you're summarizing, you just want to kind of hand pick the important stuff out of there that can be supporting facts, supporting evidence for the main idea that you already identified. Okay, so you already know what kind of support you need to write a summary of that main idea. Okay, so we need to use our topic sentence that you wrote already. Remember, you should have had this done yesterday. If you weren't here yesterday, check in with someone else next to you who can help you out. You want to chunk the text by breaking it into sections that go together based on the topic of the content. Okay, so kind of break it up. Sometimes you can put a couple paragraphs together if they're kind of talking about the same thing. Sometimes a paragraph might be its own thing. You want to leave it alone. But you want to break it into chunks so that you can then find a piece of evidence from each chunk to put into your summary. Then you want to add transition words, refer to the author, and add strong verbs. Okay, if we're looking at a chart over there, some transition words. First, then, next, after that, finally, there's a whole chart there of words you can use. You want to avoid saying next, 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 or then. Break it up. Okay, so each supporting piece of evidence that you write, use one of those transition words, but try not to use the same ones over and over. Same with the verbs. If you're telling me what the author is trying to do, don't continuously say the author says, the author says, the author says. Look at our verbs over here. Explains, states, tells, argues, discusses. There's another column of them also. Make sure you vary it. Give it some variety, right? And then end the paragraph by explaining how the author concluded the text. Okay, so you've got your topic sentence already. We nailed that. Okay, now you're chunking the text into pieces and then taking important pieces of evidence out of those, and you're doing your first, next, then to give those important ideas. And then finally, how did the author end their writing? Okay, conclude your main idea kind of the same way the author concludes their thought process. No plagiarizing. I've been catching that a lot lately. I'm good at catching it. So if you want to try me out on that, you go for it. No, don't go for it. I will catch you. Okay, so how do we chunk the text? I mentioned that earlier. How do we break it up into smaller pieces? You guys are going to open up, well, you saw it yesterday. This is a teacher annotated copy of a text that we've already read. So it is annotated a proper way by a teacher, not me. So if you find a mistake, I didn't do it. Kind of give you an idea of how to annotate. This is going to help us know how to break it up. Okay, so here we've got a section here. And this person said that this is the introduction with the main idea. It's already been covered in our summary main idea sentence. Okay, so you don't have to do anything with that first chunk because you've already covered it in your main idea. All right, so what's next? Next, we have to determine what the next chunk is. In this case, the author has done some of our work for us by separating the sections with subheadings. Okay, sometimes authors are nice to us and they will do that. So we need to determine the most important pieces of information from the paragraph and paraphrase them in our summary. Okay, so here's another chunk right here. Important information. The study in England looked at 20,000 people. People who spent at least 2 hours per week in nature reported better health and less dissatisfaction with life. Okay, we took a longer paragraph, we made it shorter, pulling out those important details. Okay. Since this section includes several paragraphs under this heading of complex relationship, we're going to have to figure out which paragraphs go together based on their content, kind of partnering up paragraphs that are kind of talking about the same thing, so that we don't have to pull something out of every single paragraph. So this person has grouped these together, paragraphs 3, 4, and 5, okay, based on what those paragraphs say. And then 6 and 7, they put together also. So we turned this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 paragraphs into 2 chunks or 2 sections. That helps us out. So paragraphs 3 to 5 describe who benefited from the time in nature. 6 and 7 talked about how much was needed, how much time was needed to benefit from nature. Okay, so then you pull out the main idea from each of those sections, those chunks that you just created. Okay, continuing on, the last section is long, but it's just a conclusion. It doesn't give us any new information, right? It's just kind of concluding what it's already talked about. It's putting a nice bow on it. It's wrapping it up just the way the author wants us to leave with it. Okay, so there was one section that they pulled some information out of, and then the rest was conclusion. Let me go back and look at that. Okay, so they did divide it up. They did pull some more information out of there. What do we do with this information after we pull it out? The things that are written over here, where I'm kind of messing with the mouse, those are the essential facts, the essential things that we need to pull out. They're your supporting sentences for your summary. See how each one of these is shorter than the chunk that it's talking about? Each one of these is a short summary of that chunk. We're going to put them together to make a summary of the entire article. Okay? So the bottom of that document, after you've already written what we did yesterday, your main idea and topic sentence, you have these bullet points. There's more than 2. There's only 2 on my screen right here, but there's plenty. Each one of those is where you're going to write your supporting evidence from each chunk. Okay, so for instance, there's one of the evidence pieces that you summarized. Okay, now we're going to add some words. Okay, we want a transition word, we want a verb. Let's see how this person does it. Okay, first, the author describes. Okay, see we chose a transition word, we chose a verb. First, the author describes the study that included 20,000 people from Great Britain. Next, okay, we got a new transition word. She reports, we got a new verb, that the study found that people who spent at least 2 hours per week in nature reported better health and less dissatisfaction with life. Okay, this first chunk, we actually divided up into 2 supporting sentences. And notice too that we didn't keep saying the author. We changed it to she. At some point, we'll use her name. We'll find different ways to refer to her. So it's all about variety in your writing. You don't want to keep repeating yourself continuously through the work, or it gets kind of monotonous, boring. You lose people's attention. Okay. Actually, we're going to talk about that right now. Notice how we change our reference to the author. We don't want to sound repetitive and say the author's name or the author over and over again, so we change it up with each sentence. The main idea sentence, we use the author's first and last name. Next, we use the author. Then we use the author's pronoun she. After that, we'll go back to using the author's name, but just the last name from here on out. And that's common. Once you use someone's whole name, only use their last name after that. Okay, that also avoids some of the repetition. Okay, so let's keep going. Here is another example of some supporting evidence that they pulled. So let's see how this person put this into a sentence. Okay, looks like they're highlighting moreover and explains. All right, so moreover, O'Hare, there we just used the author's last name, explains that research suggests that the benefits reaped from nature were the same for everyone, regardless of age, wealth, or health. Okay, we picked a transition word, we referred to the author, we verbed it, and then we put that essential supporting information into a sentence. Okay, we're going to kind of cruise through these. I'm not going to do them all. The time spent in nature did not matter after 2 hours. Okay, what are they going to do here? After that, and states. After that, the author states that the amount of time spent in nature did not matter after 2 hours. Okay, you guys should be getting the process here, the pattern. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these. If you want to look at each example, you can. You have a link to the slideshow. Keep in mind, I am making sure that you're not copying word for word. Here's the final product here. Okay, now here's a nice summary paragraph that has the main idea. It has the supporting evidence with all the different transitions, the different verbs. So it's a very well written, very well written. Oh, it's been a long day, I can't talk. A summary of the article that we've been reading. Okay, once you complete that summary, go ahead and submit it on this assignment for today. You should be able to get through that today. Okay, I'll be watching for that. I'm not here. I'm at jury duty again, unfortunately, hoping that will be done. We'll see. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, you guys are looking at Tuesday, October 26th. Oh, I haven't even put it in there yet. Okay, but on Tuesday, October 26th, you will have a link to that slideshow I just went through, and also the submission points to turn in the document. Pull up the one you already started yesterday. Don't start a new document. You're going to lose the work. Okay, so search in your drive for it's titled Summary Template Spending Time in Nature 2021. So you made a copy of that in your drive yesterday. Find that, complete that, and then you'll submit it. Excuse me, there will be a link here on Tuesday, October 26th. Okay, that's it. I will see you guys soon. Good luck.